Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can sign up for the Shannons Club, and Penrite Oil, offering technical assistance 7 days a week.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Classic Restos. Of course, not possible without the continued support from Shannons Insurance and Penrite Oil. And where would we be without Shannons Insurance? Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote on 134646. Their website is also comprehensive and there to help you as well. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. This is also an opportunity for you to list your car club there or even search for a car club there as well. Shannons Insurance offer promotions, giveaways. There's just so much to offer us as enthusiasts. Find out more when you visit Shannons at shannons.com.au. And when it comes time for the finest in oils and coolants, as you know, you cannot go past Penrite. Been established since 1926, Australian made, Australian owned, and it's also available here via distributors in the United States of America. The Penrite Technical Assistance Line is also there to help you 7 days a week. Find out more when you visit Penrite at penrite.com.au. Oil right. Use Penrite. And thanks to Carlisle Events here in Pennsylvania, USA, I return once again to bring you one of the largest GM events on the planet. Welcome to the 2014 Carlisle GM Nationals. The cars, the people, and the excitement. We all know that General Motors are responsible for building some of the most luxurious motor vehicles, along with a string of performance models that look great cruising any street. General Motors has made a massive footprint here in the United States over the years, etching itself into the minds of thousands, to where these cars, like many others, have now become a lifestyle to many. This year's Carlisle GM Nationals pays tribute to 50 years of the mighty Pontiac GTO. And it doesn't matter what side of the mechanical fence that you choose to sit, I would doubt if there would be any die-hard enthusiasts that would not want one of these amazing vehicles in their collection. You'll see some of the finest in Building Y. And remember TV show The Monkees? Well, that original car can be found this year in Building G, along with other high-performance cars from 1969. And if you're into Smokey and the Bandit, like most of us, Carlisle Events is the official launch point for the Bandit Run, showcasing the Pontiac Trans Am where that movie put it on the map. The Carlisle GM Nationals, set on over 100 spectacular acres, over 1,000 General Motors vehicles, thousands of die-hard enthusiasts, again over 3 big days. It's also the 40th anniversary of Carlisle Events, and you can see a Carlisle event on a Fletch tour in 2015. But now, it's time to get up close and personal with some of the GM entrants. Moving through the incredible Building Y here at 2014 Carlisle GM Nationals, we have Putt Willett. How are you, Putt?
I'm doing fine, Fletch. Wonderful day out. Beautiful inside. Wonderful show here as well.
Absolutely. You're here with this sensational 1968 Pontiac GTO. Tell us the story.
28 years ago, Fletch, we had an opportunity to buy this automobile. It was not in this condition when we purchased it, but we could see that it was a car that was supposed to have a teal or a light blue top, convertible top on it. At the time, it had a black top and a Gina blue. Thought that was a different color combination and something to talk about. The air conditioning wasn't hooked up, none of that, but it was an air car with a Hurst his and her shifter. So we thought, well, that's different. Let's do this, and we had the opportunity to buy it, and we did purchase the car. Since then, we restored it. We've had it to a number of shows, both Antique Automobile Club of America, AACA, Pontiac Oaken Club International, as well as GTO AA.
So, Pat, how do you feel owning a GTO? I mean, do you have more appreciation for it now than what you may have had, say, 20 years ago?
We were very fortunate. Back in 1964, we bought a brand new 1964 Post car. It was saddle bronze, had a 3-speed on the floor with a console. We still own that car. Matter of fact, it's a restored car that we're going to take to the national show this year, the GTO AA show in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You've got a picture of that in the magazine here,
I
right?
do. It's a cover car in March 2014 for the what they call the Legend magazine, which is a magazine for GTO AA. It was a car that in 1968 my wife and I went on our honeymoon with, as a matter of fact. A number of years ago, we have a 66 GTO also, and I was thrilled when my daughter wanted to use that car to go from the church to the reception. It was a fun time.
Just before we go, Pat, what sort of engine up front?
This is a 400, this is a stock engine. The whole car is stock, so it's 400 cubic inches with 350 horsepower.
And it's keeping you young.
It is. Fletch, you know, I read about you in the show guide. Nice job. Thank you. It's so nice to meet you in person.
Oh,
my pleasure.
My pleasure too. Thanks, mate. That's very nice of you. Good on you, Pat.
Thank you.
With me now, GM Events Manager Tyler Staley. How are you, Tyler?
I'm doing fine, Fletch. Thanks for having me on.
That's okay. Hey, has he done a good job or what? Organising the GM Nationals here in Carlisle Events for 2014. How's it looking, Tyler?
It's actually looking very positive. Our show field numbers are up. A lot of people are very excited about the show this year, and also the weather looks beautiful.
2014 has some special things. Give us an idea of what we can expect.
Yeah, 2014 marks a very important anniversary in the world of cars, and that's the 50th year of the GTO. So this year's celebration is 50 years of the Pontiac GTO. Another big focus this year is a multi-state tour called the Bandit Run. And the Bandit Run starts off in Nebraska and makes its whole way here for Carlisle. This is the first time they've ever been on the East Coast. We're the official launch point. So you have over 100 Bandit Trans Ams. You have a snowman's rig. They're going to make a journey from here down to the south for a week-long trip. It's going to be fantastic.
Tyler, we're in one of my favourite buildings here at Carlisle Events, Building Y. Now this year, what do we see here?
This year, Building Y has had its name changed to the Goat Pen. So it's completely full of GTOs. We actually have one representing every year of production for that car.
Absolutely amazing. How come the Goat Pen? Where does that come from?
Well, of course, the classic nickname for the GTO is the Goat, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of a neat pun for the building, so we have a building full of goats. It's the Goat Pen.
He's an ideas man. That's what I like about him. Ideas man. Awesome stuff. Keep up the great work here, Tyler. This is really sensational. It really, really is. If you're into your GMs, in fact, if you're into the big three, you can't miss a Carlisle event. Well done, mate.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Out onto the fairgrounds now at the 2014 Carlisle GM Nationals, we have Mike. How are you, Mike?
I'm good, Fletch.
That's the way. You've got a beautiful 1960 Impala convertible. Have a go at this. How nice is it? Look at this car. Almost 20 feet in length. The beautiful lines on this Impala. The bottle green interior highlighted with the stainless steel. I mean, talk about back in 1960. I mean, they really went all the way, didn't they?
Well, I remember when the 61s came out, we rode our bikes down to the Chevy dealer to see them because that was just so amazing. Yeah. And like this was what guys drove when I was in high school. It was, you know, this was 9 years old. I graduated in '69, and so they were $300-400 cars at that time. Wow.
So when these were 9 years old back in the day, what would you have picked one up for here in the US?
About $300.
The tears are starting to roll now. So what's lurking up under the hood? Little V8, what's going on there, Mike?
Well, Fletch, it's a 283 cubic inch V8, 230 horsepower. This is the power pack version, 4-barrel carburetor, and it's got a 2-speed power glide transmission, automatic transmission behind it. It drives well. I have radial tires on it is the only change I've made to modern traveling, and it really drives nicely. It was designed to drive on the interstate highways running at 65 all day, runs on regular gas.
That is awesome. Now, Mike, you're part of the National Impala Association. How many members in your club?
We have 1,400 members.
1,400?
Yes.
Just a small club. If you have a Chevrolet and you want to be part of this club, this is the way to go. But in Australia, it works the same way. If you don't have a car, you can still be a member of the club. You guys like that as well?
Oh, yes, yes. You don't have to own the car. Just an interest in the cars is all that's required for membership.
Well, car clubs are important here to Carlisle Events as well, because the car clubs, they're a big part of everybody turning up each and every event as well. What's the website for the Impala Association?
It's www.nationalimpala.com.
That's great. Well, keep up the good work, Mike. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, and good to see you out here on the fairgrounds this weekend.
Good talking to you, Fletch.
Good on you, mate. When it comes time for the best in classic vehicle, home and contents insurance, along with an opportunity to sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club, where you can list your car club there or search for a car club there. Go to shannons.com.au. And the finest in oils and coolants with Penrite, where their technical assistance line is there to help you 7 days a week. Find out more at penrite.com.au. Hope you're really enjoying the Carlisle GM Nationals for 2014. Back with more after this. Welcome back. Here we are, the GM Nationals at Carlisle for 2014, a Bandit Run. Obviously from the movie Smokey and the Bandit. What a movie. I know down under it was huge down there. Welcome to today's show, Rick.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, you're the organiser of this. How does it feel to be around this environment?
We always have a good time. You know, we've been doing the Bandit Run since 2007, Fletch, and we really have a good time. We get to see a lot of different parts of the country. We get to see a lot of different parts, different people, and so this year GM Nationals had invited us out for years, and you know, it takes a few years in the planning, but this year we're excited to be here in Carlisle.
Okay, so the Bandit Run starts here. Where does it go to?
It starts here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and we head down the East Coast. We go to Chantilly, and then Virginia Beach, and then Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
This is just awesome. All in tribute to that fantastic movie.
Yeah, 1977, Smokey and the Bandit.
I mean, I was in primary school and went to the pictures to see it, and it was just the most awesome movie. Now, I have to ask you, have you met Burt Reynolds? And if you have, tell us about him.
We did. We were lucky enough to meet Burt Reynolds on a couple different occasions. He did a Smokey and the Bandit movie screening and contacted, you know, Dave Hall with Restore a Muscle Car, and we took a Trans Am there, and I met him there for a Smokey and the Bandit screening down in Florida. Then we got invited back to Jupiter, to his hometown, for an event, and he came out and he actually did sign everybody's cars. He signed the rig in the background, and he actually spent some time with us and let us take some pictures. He's a very, very nice guy with his time.
Rick, what is his thoughts from the movie when he talks about making the movie back in the 70s? What's the vibe on that? How does he feel about it?
You know, he's really humbled. He thinks of it as a small project that he says, you know, almost quote his words, he's like, you never know what's going to take and what's not. And he said he did a lot of big production movies, and he says he did this little movie with his roommate, Hal Needham, and look what it turned out to be, and the feet and the legs it has still today.
Well, Hal Needham, that was his first movie, right?
That was his first movie. That was his first movie that he wrote that and directed that. Hal tells a story, and I'll make it short and quick, but he said him and Burt were working on a movie together before that, and Hal was his stunt driver, and he said that he went back to the room and all his beer is missing from his refrigerator. And he's like, what the heck's going on? Where's all my beer? Well, it comes to find out that you couldn't have beer east of the Mississippi, and there was a girl in the hotel that would go to his room and steal his beer. And he said, that's what came up with the idea. I'm going to write a movie or make a movie about that.
And I tell you what, and wasn't that all about, eh? The people were thirsty at Texarkana, and they just had to get it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously not the original rig, not the original Pontiac, and not the original Trans Am behind us. Bit of a shame there. There are rumours that the vehicles are still around, but they're not, are they?
No, unfortunately they're not. I mean, and we're getting this straight from Hal Needham, who was, you know, again, there in 1977 and 76 and got the cars from Pontiac. So I still meet people today that swear that I'm wrong and there's cars out there, but we have photographic evidence that from Polaroids on the set, there was 3 Trans Ams. One was modified to jump the bridge and completely destroyed after that jump. And then the other 2 Trans Ams, Hal said himself that he kept Band-Aid him to keep him together because they beat the crap out of him. And the one contract he had with General Motors is that we'll give you these cars, 3 Trans Ams, 3 Bonnevilles. The rig was just a universal refrigeration truck that he let graphic up and paint the cab, but the one agreement with Pontiac is when you're done with them, we get them back because we're going to crush them. We can't have our cars out there and be liable for them.
That's awesome. Rick, thank you so much, mate. Wonderful catching up with you. And I wish you guys all the best for the Bandit Run. It's a fantastic tribute to such a great movie.
Oh, well, thank you. Just let me say, you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. Just Google the Bandit Run. It's brought to you by Restore a Muscle Car. We do it every year. And the one misconception, every car is welcome, though. I mean, you see a lot of black Trans Ams or a lot of Trans Ams of all years and ages, but we welcome every car. It's a real family niche. We have a really good time. We pick point A and point B to go from, and we have a good time just representing the movie. And then like every 5 years, we get back to the original route.
Well, that's great. And if you see Burt Reynolds in the meantime, send him my regards.
I will, Fletch. Nice to see you again. Take care.
Thanks, Reed. Moving through, we have Irvin now. How are you, Irvin?
I'm fine, Fletch.
That's good. You got to be. 57 two-door convertible. You don't see one of these every day. Beautiful car.
Thank you.
Tell us a story. How long have you had it?
Well, we bought the car in 1984, but of course at the time I didn't have the money to restore it. So I sat in the garage for a while till I had time and the money to work on it. But in the meantime, I had a good friend of mine who needed a heart transplant, who had a convertible also, and I redone that for him so he could enjoy it before he passed away. And he did live, I guess, an additional 14 years, so he did get to enjoy his car, and he did get to see me finish mine.
What a lovely thing to do for somebody. That's just so mighty to do that.
Well, he was a good friend of mine, and at that time there was no financial help through insurance. He was a Vietnam veteran. Like myself, I have 39 years in the military, so it's just one vet helping another vet out.
And you know, you helped to give that guy another 14 years of longevity. That you would have been a major part of that.
Yes, and I'm really happy that he was able to enjoy it and see me finish mine.
Well, that's just a beautiful thing to do. Irvin, I look at your car here. It's absolutely glorious sitting here in the paddock. I mean, as I alluded to earlier, convertible. You don't see many of these. The interior, original, just looks fantastic.
Yes, what I did is I went with a Harbor Blue, which this is. It's an original 57 Chevy color, and the original color interior, and it has a 283 with a power glide. In fact, everything's all original on it. I belong to the Antique Auto Club, which I show. In fact, we just came from a show from Lebanon, Tennessee last week, and I got my Senior Grand National. I'm also a member and a director of Keystone Region VCCA, which is a vintage Chevy club, and I just enjoy showing cars and talking to people who enjoy cars.
It's a great hobby, isn't it?
It is a great hobby. It takes some money, but I did it as I had a little extra cash and my time.
Thanks for the interview, Irvin. I just love this car, and I know you're watching at home. You're going to agree with me. And it doesn't matter if you're into Fords, Chevys, Mopars, doesn't matter. This is one beautiful car, like a lot of others here today. Thanks very much, Irvin.
Well, thank you, Touch. And it's like another thing I had to say, too, when people talk to me about these older cars, they said, and again, it doesn't matter what name brand it is, these years, like the 50s and the 60s, this is when a car had character and identification. Today, you don't know what it is until you actually look at the badge.
As I've said before, the cars were an extension of the people's personas. It was back in an era where they used to wear their motor cars.
Correct. Yeah. Right, and I still feel that way.
Good on you. You're a good guy. Thanks, Irvin.
Thank you, Fletch.
Bookings are being taken now for the 2015 Fletch Tours. If you'd like to join us at one of the Ford, GM or Chrysler Nationals here at Carlisle, or the sensational Motown city of Detroit, where the Woodward Dream Cruise takes place, along with a lot of private car collections and museums, go to classicrestos.com.au and click on the Fletch Tours icon for more information. Back with more classic GMs in just a moment. Welcome back. 69 Chevelle, time for Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, Fletch. How are you?
I'm good this afternoon. Good. Thanks for turning up in your 69. Again, a beautiful car, beautiful blue, white interior, gorgeous car.
Beautiful day in Carlisle. Beautiful.
What are you thinking of the GM Nationals so far for this year?
I think it's great. The weather's perfect. The people are nice. The food is delicious, and so are the people.
There's no doubt about it that Bill and Lance Miller and all the event managers, they just do a sensational job, don't they?
Doing a great job. My first time here, I came all the way up from South Florida, and it was well worth the trip.
Tell us about the car. Where does this car go back with you?
Well, I bought the car about 3 years ago from a dealer in North Carolina. It was restored, but it was restored with aftermarket parts. And I spent a lot of time and money and effort researching the car, making it right so it looked like it just came right out of the showroom.
It's absolutely stunning. How does it drive as a car? Go well, without sounding like a stupid question?
It drives beautiful, like it just roll off the assembly line.
Yeah. So, Mike, up front, 396. So, have you built it back like factory specs or a little bit more?
No, it's perfect. It's just the way it rolled off the assembly line. 396, 325 horsepower, factory air, power windows, convertible top.
Perfect color combination, Le Mans blue, white convertible top, 4-speed. Everybody's dream car. I know it is mine.
Well, it's just the hamburger with the lot, really, isn't it?
Absolute. It's a cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger.
Bacon on it.
A cheeseburger with bacon on it. All right. Start at the bottom and option up a little.
There you go.
Mike, it's been great having you on the show, and love the car. Keep up the great work in preserving it. And you certainly served the Chevelle row here proud today. Good on you.
It's my pleasure, Fletch.
Inside Building G now, and this year some of the highest performing cars from 1969 are showcased. And when it came to performance and a little bit of style, the General came out with some amazing packages. Gotta love Building G. How are you, Ed?
Hi, thanks, Fletcher. How you doing?
Good, good. What a beautiful car here. 1969 Z28 302 Camaro. Wow. Tell us the story on it.
Well, it's a North Carolina car. It's got 47,000 original miles on it. It was restored about 4 years ago. A gentleman out of Lexington, North Carolina, Stan Yount Restorations. We bought the car, fell in love with it, beautiful colors. Show it, that's about all we do with it. Polish it and clean it.
It certainly stands out here today in the back of the old dealership here.
This is a great setting to be in. It's like going back to the 60s dealership when you could look at a car in the showroom and say, I'd like to buy that car, can I have it? Great facility to be in.
Tell us just about the car in terms of, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, as you said, the colours are beautiful, the black interior. How does it perform and what is it like to drive?
Well, you know, from the distance I drive it, it's got power steering, it handles very good, cranks up idles. This car is equipped with a Cross-Ram 2.4 system set up on it, so it normally would be a rough idle, but this car is tuned up so it sits here and idles very well while it's warming up. And
interesting too, 302 cubic inches, in line there with Ford with the Windsor.
It was, you know, these cars were built, the 302s were built to compete in the Trans Am series with the Ford 302s or 305s, and they had to have at least a 302 max cubic inch. So in '67 they built these cars for the purposes, or the motors for the purposes of racing, competing in Trans Ams, which they did. These cars from the factory came at about 290 horsepower, but with the 302 it actually made more than that, but they used a 290 for insurance purposes here in the States to allow it so that it would meet the insurance regulations. But fully tuned and fully race prepped, this motor would make 440 horsepower.
I love how they used to detune the numbers, just wind them back just so that they complied.
Right. Yeah. These cars were, you know, recognized as good race prep cars. All the '69 cars were made for race prep back in the day, and a lot of them are still being raced.
Yeah. Good on you, Ed. A sensational Camaro. It's a wonderful car to round off the first episode of the 2014 Carlisle GM Nationals. Thank you very much, Ed.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Well, I hope you've enjoyed just some of this sensational Carlisle 2014 GM Nationals here in beautiful Pennsylvania, United States of America. And episode 2 is going to be on next week's show. In the meantime, classicrestos.com.au is the website that you need for the DVD boxed sets of the show, Classic Restos merchandise, contact information on joining us on a Fletch tour in 2015, and of course the major sponsors as well. As I say at the end of every show, no matter where you're watching from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can sign up for the Shannons Club, and Penrite Oil, offering technical assistance 7 days a week.